So right now I'm just starting on one layer to sketch in basically. Here I have a bunch of other ones that I've done previously. Visual artwork is not really my forte, working on a tablet like this. But these past couple of days I've been able to get it a bit better than I usually do. So this is the kind of size and style I'm gunning for. But I'm going to do a waffle next. I got these things, they're little cake balls. And I also got a pizza. And as far as my brush, I'm not doing anything fancy. It's just a basic brush. Has a slight roundness jitter. And has a slight diameter shift where the less pressure I put on it, the thinner it gets. But in terms of like the brush tip and stuff, it's nothing fancy or anything. It's just basic black brush. Pressing B to switch to my brush again. Just kind of eyeballing the real life example I have off camera. And my setup isn't actually too fancy. It's like literally I just have this stuff sitting right here on top of my wires and stuff. It's nothing too fancy. Bear in mind, these lines aren't actually the lines of the waffle, because the waffles actually have a thickness to them. And so the line that I'm drawing is almost the opposite of where the line will be when I draw it for real. So what I'm doing is I'm just observing where the bumps are on the actual waffle, and then using the sketch that I have as like a road map to sort of translate the equivalent shape in the terms of the drawing. And I'm not too worried about realism, because this is supposed to be kind of a loose interpretation, like a simplified sort of caricature of it, rather than being too realistic. Okay, so I got this layer going now. I've just added some detail to it, but there's some things about the proportion of it that I might want to tweak a bit more. For this, I'm essentially, rather than erasing, the setup I have is that this is a transparent layer on top of a white backdrop. But rather than erasing, for the moment, I'm just using black and white. So black line, white line, rather than doing a full-on erase, because I'm going to flatten the layer like with some white, and then remove the white after the fact anyways, and so it doesn't matter that I'm mixing my whites and blacks for this, because I'm going to be filtering that stuff out later anyways. So that's the actual sketch I got. You can see how rough it is. comparison. This is the kind of clarity and cleanness that I want to get it to later. Okay. So okay, so I got the waffle a bit more inked. I'm just gonna go over it and see if there's anything else I want to do with it. So this was my sketch layer, and this is my ink layer. Just gonna go in close and see what I can clean up. And for the doing the black and white, to quickly switch between these colors of black and white, I just hit X on the keyboard. I decided for this, in this case, I'm going to make 2 of them. And the angle of it matches better anyways, because it looks like it's stacked up against something. So as a quick way, doing Alt-drag on the layer to immediately copy it. It's sort of a quick thing. I'm just gonna try distorting and copying over the same layer. I don't think I'm gonna use it just like that, though. I think I'll still re-ink it, but I'll use it as like a baseline for the angle. And treat this as a new sketch layer. So I actually don't need to do too much with, I actually only need to draw this amount right here. So this is the sketch I started with, and this is the finished one that I did off of the sketch. there's a couple of things about like perspective here that I could have done a bit better. Like this being smaller than this is a bit off. I might tweak that even now. As a matter of fact. And then as the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fill this. I'm going to edit, fill with white. Blending mode is behind, so that whatever is not filled in already will be filled in with white. And the reason I do that is so that I can use this adjustment, which is threshold. And threshold will sort out it into pure black and white, and I can adjust how much of what I want. Get a very crisp, clean line. Then I go here, set with no anti-aliasing, so that it's actually selecting every pixel. And I hit delete. And now I have a pure black line that's very crisp. And those whites that I used to erase earlier are naturally removed as part of that process. So if I like put something else behind it now, like a color for example, I can do that with no problem. There you go. That's another layer. So yeah, that's the finished image.